How to become skinny with top 8 most popular diets. Low-carb diets have been popular for decades. They used to be highly controversial but have recently gained mainstream acceptance. Low-carb diets tend to cause more weight loss than low-fat diets. They also improve numerous health markers, such as blood triglycerides, cholesterol, blood sugar, and blood pressure. Here are 8 popular ways to do a low-carb diet. Number 1. A typical low-carb diet. This eating pattern tends to be lower in carbs and higher in protein than a typical Western diet. It usually emphasizes meats, fish, eggs, nuts, seeds, vegetables, fruits, and healthy fats. You're meant to minimize your intake of high-carb foods like grains, potatoes, sugary drinks, and high-sugar junk foods. The recommended carb intake per day generally depends on your goals and preferences. Number 2. Ketogenic diet. The ketogenic diet is a very low-carb, high-fat diet. This diet involves reducing carbs sufficiently to induce a metabolic state called ketosis. It has also become popular for fat loss, even among some bodybuilders, as it's a very effective way to lose fat and tends to cause a major reduction in appetite. A ketogenic diet involves high-protein, high-fat foods. Carbs are generally limited to fewer than 50, and sometimes as few as 20 to 30 grams per day. Number 3. Low-carb, high-fat. It's a fairly standard very low-carb diet but with an even greater emphasis on whole, unprocessed foods. It focuses mostly on meats, fish and shellfish, eggs, healthy fats, vegetables, dairy products, nuts, and berries. The recommended carb intake on this diet can range from 20 to 100 grams per day. Number 4. Low-carb paleo diet. The paleo diet is currently one of the world's most popular ways of eating. It encourages eating foods that were likely available in the Paleolithic era, before the agricultural and industrial revolutions. According to paleo proponents, returning to the diet of your prehistoric ancestors should improve health because humans allegedly evolved and adapted to eating such foods. Several small studies show that a paleo diet can cause weight loss, reduce blood sugars, and improve risk factors for heart disease. A paleo diet is not low-carb by definition but tends to be so in practice. It emphasizes meats, fish, seafood, eggs, vegetables, fruits, tubers, nuts, and seeds. A strict paleo diet eliminates processed foods, added sugar, grains, legumes, and dairy products. Number 5. The Atkins diet. The Atkins diet is the best-known low-carb eating plan. It involves reducing all high-carb foods while eating as much protein and fat as desired. The diet is split into 4 phases. Phase 1, induction. Eat under 20 grams of carbs per day for 2 weeks. Phase 2, balancing. Slowly add more nuts, low-carb vegetables, and fruit. Phase 3, fine-tuning. When you get close to your weight goal, add more carbs until your weight loss becomes slower. Phase 4, maintenance. Eat as many healthy carbs as your body tolerates without gaining back the weight you lost. Current research indicates it's both safe and effective as long as fiber intake is adequate. This diet is still popular today. Number 6. Eco-Atkins. A diet termed Eco-Atkins is essentially a vegan version of the Atkins diet. It includes plant foods and ingredients that are high in protein and/or fat, such as gluten, soy, nuts, and plant oils. About 25 of its calories come from carbs, 30 from protein, and 45 from fat. As such, it's higher in carbs than a typical Atkins diet, but still much lower than a typical vegan diet. One 6-month study showed that an Eco-Atkins diet caused more weight loss and greater improvement in heart disease risk factors than a high-carb vegetarian diet. Number 7. Zero carb. Some people prefer to eliminate all carbs from their diet. This is called a zero-carb diet and usually includes only animal foods. People who follow a zero-carb diet eat meat, fish, eggs, and animal fats like butter and lard. Some of them also add salt and spices. There are no recent studies that show a zero-carb diet to be safe. Only one case study, from 1930, exists, in which 2 men ate nothing but meat and organs for a year but appeared to remain in good health. A zero-carb diet is lacking in some important nutrients, such as vitamin C and fiber. For this reason, it is generally not recommended. Number 8. Low-carb Mediterranean diet. The Mediterranean diet is very popular, especially among health professionals. It is based on the traditional foods of Mediterranean countries earlier in the 20th century. Studies show that this diet may help prevent heart disease, breast cancer, and type 2 diabetes. A low-carb Mediterranean eating pattern is modeled after its namesake diet but limits higher carb foods like whole grains. Unlike a regular low-carb diet, it emphasizes more fatty fish instead of red meat and more extra virgin olive oil instead of fats like butter. The bottom line. What works for one person may not work for the next, so the best diet for you is the one you can stick to. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and hit the bell button for more videos regarding loss weight. Or watch the next video in the description below. It is based on the traditional foods of Mediterranean countries earlier in the 20th century. Studies show that this diet may help prevent heart disease, breast cancer, and type 2 diabetes. A low-carb Mediterranean eating pattern is modeled after its namesake diet but limits higher carb foods like whole grains. Unlike a regular low-carb diet, it emphasizes more fatty fish instead of red meat and more extra virgin olive oil instead of fats like butter. The bottom line. What works for one person may not work for the next, so the best diet for you is the one you can stick to. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and hit the bell button for more videos regarding loss weight. Or watch the next video in the description below.